So Alpha 3.24 has entered Wave 1 PTU, and with it comes some big changes to hangars, cargo, and inventory management. We'll be taking a look at the updated systems in this video, and as I'd already gotten to use some of the new systems during Evocati testing, I was able to give a brief summation of my thoughts to Nurseman immediately as we were setting out. I'm going to be quite candid in this video with my opinions, but they are just opinions, and if your own experiences or feelings toward the changes is different to mine, that is totally fine. Here's my opinion of this patch summed up. I love the freight elevators. I love what they've done with cargo. I hate the inventory changes in the item kiosks. It's like the inventory with extra steps. I think the big problem for me with the kiosks is that it opens up, the drawer is your classic inventory, and as soon as you open that up, it shatters any illusion that it's like a new system built for immersion. It just feels like extra steps.
I have a theory on why they've done it this way. My theory is that what they're actually doing isn't trying to make a immersive physicalization of the thing. I think that the items, when they're shifted into the drawer, they mean that you're not accessing the back-end inventory server. I think they're shifting to part of the server.
Yeah, you could be right. You could absolutely be right. It's like throttling access to the back-end server to try and improve the performance of pairs, maybe. Explaining the inventory changes in a quick summary, local inventory as we have come to know it is now gone, both at locations and on ships. Instead, players must make use of item kiosks dotted around locations to pull items from the local inventory. These kiosks have their own interface and it is really well presented, however using them is slow and clunky, with some frankly baffling interface omissions that Nurseman and I are going to suggest changes to here in the video, including one suggestion that Nurseman made that I think could save this whole system. Normally when setting out, a weapon and armor shop for ammo and supplies is our first port of call.
But the freight elevators, I am adoring them. They are smooth as
Yes. Now, you can still add these items directly to your character when purchasing if you send them to your backpack, for example. But if you forget to do that, they will end up in the local inventory and you're going to have to visit a kiosk. I was just like, oh, I'll just equip some gear, and you open your inventory and nothing happens. And like bear in mind, inventory not showing up has traditionally been, oh, the servers are you know? So, yeah, gotta go find one of those goddamn terminals instead. Granted, look, new people coming into the game, this won't be a pain point for them. They will just be like, oh yeah, okay, so we access our inventory through these terminals. So this is an item kiosk, and the right side is the local inventory, and the left side is the drawer of the kiosk, essentially the items that we want to retrieve. But right away, a feature that worked really well in the old inventory is sadly missing from this one. Anyway, here's a piece of UI advice to CIG for free. When I click the clothing or the weapon icon, have it deselect everything else and select weapons. I get that you've got the subcategories, you know, like the tick boxes, but we should be able to just click weapons and have nothing but weapons show up, right?
It's like how it used to be, and then you deselect what you don't want, you know.
Yes.
It's the wrong way round by default.
It's crazy to me that they haven't added that on as a thing.
So bad. It's so badly thought out. I mean, if you're walking around the station, for instance, and you don't have a backpack, 90% of the bloody helmets won't go onto your hips, so you have to take your helmet off, put it on the floor to drink a drink. It's absolutely stupid because there's no local inventory to stick it in. Yes.
I don't want to be overly dramatic, I really don't, but gearing up used to be a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
This change, right? Again, I don't want to be over dramatic, and we've been through the whole master modes thing. And the master modes thing, it didn't affect me very much. So I was kind of quiet on it. You know, I'm not someone who is out dogfighting all the time. But this change, this is the kind of change that feels like it could literally kill the game, because this is so painfully slow to work with. And as I said in the beginning, Nurseman has an idea that could really make this new system a whole lot less painful to use.
So I do have an idea they could use that would fix half of this.
Okay.
Basically, if you could, on the stuff on the right, select either a object or every object of that same name, which you can do with the mark all, and click favorite.
Yeah.
And then, so whenever you return to your interview, you go, show me favorite.
Yes, that would be great. Oh my god. You could then, okay, that is a goddamn amazing idea. Because then you could have essentially a saved loadout, right? The first screen that shows up is your favorites. You just click everything into the drawer. Boom. Then you've got it. Yeah, that would be...
Exactly.
That would turn this thing right around. I would be so in favour of this system then, because who hasn't wanted saved loadouts for the longest time?
Yeah.
Oh no, you're kidding me. Unfortunately, the terminal had timed out and I would have to start over. I'd spent ages moving to the drawer and then it timed out, so it's all gone. Oh.
That's painful as
When you are ready to open the drawer, it brings up the old inventory, and I don't know, to me this kind of breaks the illusion of the new system, reminding us that we had a much simpler and less cumbersome solution to the inventory problem. Some of our group were asking questions about why this was so long in Evocati, and I did want to reiterate that the changes being added are huge developments for the game, especially the hangar step, and so delays due to unforeseen problems are quite understandable. I'm sympathetic to that, like I'm not blaming CIG for that at all, because anytime there's a new system being added, it's going to be like that. And to be, it is a huge change, right? So you got to expect that. And the hangar side of things is amazing. Like the freight elevators, the physicalized cargo, great. I just feel like the design philosophy behind the item kiosk in particular is, at the moment at least, and as Nurseman pointed out, and as you've pointed out, there are things they could do that would really improve that experience and make it less of a headache, but they haven't done that yet. So we've got to take it on what is there, and what is there right now is painfully slow.
It's terrible.
So I didn't have medical supplies like med pens or a med gun, so I'd be stopping at the hospital to buy some.
Okay, go.
Okay. Now the process of buying supplies. So if we want to buy something, we go to a shopping terminal. We find the thing we want to buy, so for example med pens. We buy a bunch of them. But we can't equip them there and then, can we? We have to then go to a... So you're meant to select your backpack now, is that right?
Although I think he's right saying
the
way.
So the kill 2 that I went to had a drawer right next to the terminal. So maybe that's... they're not the same style drawers that are all around the place. They're actually built into the wall, so keep your eyes open.
Hi. Yeah, the drawers sometimes feel like there's either a lot of drawers or there's no drawer in sight. Like there's no in between.
I've literally run around trying to find a drawer.
I could only find 2 on Tressler, and those were in the gallery, like tucked under the stairs.
Now, there are some other problems with this new inventory system, I am told, such as absolutely no inventory at all for ships, but we've yet to head out and try it, so I can't really comment on that right now. Overall, the item kiosks to me are something I think we might get tired of quite quickly. I could be wrong, and maybe there is more support out there for immersion over convenience than I think. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. To me though, changing a system where we could equip ourselves in a couple of seconds with very few clicks to a much more restrictive system taking at the very least a few minutes to work around is a step in the wrong direction. Star Citizen is already a game with a lot of downtime, prep time and waiting around, and in the grand scheme of player requests and priorities, I would wager that very few backers saw this as a priority or even desirable. Next, we'd be heading off to a spaceport to look at what may be the centerpiece of this update: persistent hangars at your home city. Your personal hangar at your home spaceport is now a fully persistent space, meaning you can leave items, decorations, cargo, and even vehicles around within it, and they will persist. You can even fire guns in your hangar now and have friends in to help out.
The way they've done instance hangars is the hangars are on top of each other, which is why you'll hear random noises every now and then. Like you'll hear a tractor beam, you'll hear some firing. That's why.
Okay,
they're on top of each other.
Wow.
So sometimes you'll open up your hangar and there'll just be a guy sitting outside of it.
Oh, okay.
And it's not because they're being weird, it's because they're waiting for you.
In the elevators, you now have a button specifically for your own personal hangar. On my first visit to the hangar though, I'd be greeted by a very loud sound bug. Holy f***, that is loud. What is going on?
You know, I haven't made that.
Once the sound was over, we could actually go take a look around. I had to alt tab because I couldn't hear what Katana was saying, so I just had to alt tab so I could.
I wouldn't lie, the siren it sounds like it's like going, you must get out of there, it's dangerous.
The personal hangar is really just a regular hangar. It's just that your own hangar is persistent. I'm just curious, what it's like having a smaller hangar.
Oh, it's
look at the heating bill.
Yeah, my hangar is enormous. Wow.
Convenient.
Yeah, I spawned a pulse in the middle of an XL hangar, and it took me 10 minutes to get to it.
The cargo side of the game has seen a huge change with the introduction of freight elevators to hangars and landing zones, requiring cargo to be manually loaded. But maybe the most exciting change here, if a little incomplete at this time, is the ability to call and load up ground vehicles within your own hangar instead of having to visit a garage or mining outpost to get them.
Yeah.
What would have been better is if they came up in the freight elevator, but they didn't. They came up, in the middle of the goddamn landing pad. I think that they should use the freight elevator for vehicles.
They've said before they want to use the freight elevators, but it just does not work for some reason.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's just a refresh issue. Yeah, turn it off and on again.
Yeah.
Okay.
While this PTU is going smooth, there is still a lot of hitches.
When you call a ship or vehicle, the entire hangar floor descends to retrieve the vehicle you've selected. And again, you can now fire weapons inside your hangar.
But sometimes you just need to turn it
I love that you can fire guns in the hangar. I think that's cool.
That's
Although
extra.
I know it can be exploited. And I also
want a target range now.
love that you can pull. One of the biggest advantages I feel of this change, as well as obviously being able to persistently just store stuff in your hangar if you want to, but one of the biggest is being able to load ground vehicles without having to go anywhere, right? Because that has always been such a big commitment in terms of time to go and fly somewhere and load up, and now you can do all that at home with a little bit of careful finagling of the pad and whatnot.
Unless you spawn yourself a new babbage.
Oh no, yeah, right, yeah.
What the deal is, but
I chose Area 18 just because I like the colour of I figured if we're going to be spending a lot of time in these hangars, normally I would go New Babbage, obviously. But the white is a bit much, in my opinion.
White's too much for you?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Katana had advised me that the instance hangars are actually on top of each other in terms of space, and I think that is what causes the problem, where we hear sound from other people's hangars as they move their platforms to recover ships. As I went to pull another ground vehicle, we talked about some of the possibilities in these hangars. Oh, you could do
it's hilarious.
Hangar Gravlev racing.
Hangar racing.
Yeah. You could also set up full on battle areas for training and stuff, because you can put a nursa just off the side, so people don't need to take the train and stuff to get back.
To the ASOC, welcome.
Katana brought up the idea of giving players a PTV at the entrance, as the hangars themselves can be huge. Mine is a large hangar at the moment, but when you get up to the extra large hangar size, it is really a long way to move on foot.
It is quite essential.
People call for putting just like CIG, just putting a PTV just that naturally spawns.
That would be great, yeah. I mean, and what's the harm in it, right? It's they do have the Ursas and stuff spawning at the distribution centers, so having a PTV just available in your hangar would be a nice little thing to include, yeah. So with a second ground vehicle retrieved, it was time to pull a ship to load them into. And for this test I was going to pull the Caterpillar. Liveries and I think even all of outfitting is broken currently, so it would be in the stock colours. As it was arriving, I'd make a discovery about those ground vehicles, as I'd accidentally left them on the landing pad.
But if we do have to physically apply it, I just want to be able to just throw it at the ship.
Oh my god! My mind has just been blown. I just made a discovery that I didn't realise, and you guys maybe have already seen it, I don't know. But in all my time playing in EVA, I did not notice this. I was always driving my vehicles off with the elevator, you know, to send it back down again. You can just leave them on the elevator. They go down and they come back up again. Now, we did do some follow-up testing with combinations later on, and it seems this only works with ground vehicles. If you try to leave another ship on the pad, even if there is a space to spawn a new ship, the old ship will get stored. It was time to get the vehicles loaded in.
Did they say that? Fixed it. I don't know. Is it in? No, it isn't. People's names in game get worse, or am I just getting worse?
Wait.
Areola Grande.
What did we see the other day? We saw 890 Trump, wasn't it?
Have you seen 890 Trump and Barack Obama together? I have.
Oh, that's giving me all sorts of ideas.
Oh, look at that! It's Katana. Welcome to my home. To my hangar.
I can attempt to just go to you and bring you.
But as I was loading the Dragonfly onto the Caterpillar, we would all crash. Wait, I think I crashed.
Oh.
Did you crash as well?
I think we
yeah, I just crashed.
Still, this was a good opportunity to test the hangar persistence as well, to see if after such a fail, the vehicles would still be there. We had good reason to believe the server also went down, as we had all crashed pretty much at the same time. And on returning to my hangar, all of the vehicles were still there.
This may actually be a kilometer.
I'll be damned, it is, yep, the hangar is persistent, my shit is all still here.
Oh, nice.
So for these two additions to the game, persistent hangars and the item kiosks, I think the hangar changes are great, but I am not really that keen on the kiosks. This may change over time, and I think if some of the interface changes Nurseman suggested were added to the game, it could really help with making this a more fun system to engage with. We did stick around the hangars for some more testing and science, and in the next video we will take a look at what the hangars can and cannot do, and more fun with the freight elevators. There have been other additions to the game like hauling missions and even night vision weapon optics that are going to be very exciting to go and take a look at. Now, a quick channel update: things have been quite quiet the past couple of weeks, mainly because there was very little happening with the game and the servers were performing terribly, but I also suffered some health issues my end that required some recovery time as well. Still, now we've got the new patch to play with, so there will be plenty more content coming, and in terms of channel content as well, we're also going to add a few more games to the channel. We've been playing a few different games in our little group, and I would definitely like to make some videos about some of those. So you can expect more varied content coming up soon, and I hope everyone is on board with that direction. As always, I want to thank all of you at home for watching, and all of our very generous patrons that you can see on screen right now. These very generous people keep the channel going with their support, and I just want to thank each and every one of them for choosing to support the channel. Thank you. We'll be back with more from Star Citizen very soon.